In this video, we're going to set up the MyStudio MS32 Tabletop Photo Studio. This is a great mid-sized table studio used by professionals and amateur photographers alike. People selling items on eBay, online. It's a great in-house photo studio that you could set up in your garage or have it in your house. Right here on the table, I've got all the pieces that come in the box for, that you will get when you get the MyStudio MS32. First of all, we've got the centerpiece, the MS32 psych background. It's a solid piece of white plastic. We've also got the two white reflectors. These are going to end up going over the light, and they're going to kind of cover and give like a roof, reflective roof to the MS32. We've got two pieces of white adhesive. These are going to be going over the seam in between the reflectors when we put them together. We've also got the lamp fixtures. They don't have bulbs in them. The bulbs come separately. We'll be putting those together. Over here we've got the metal parts. We've got the two identical pieces that form the crossbar for the lighting system. They've got the MyStudio sticker on them. The two flat pieces are the powder-coated aluminum legs. These are going to be going upright to support the light, and these are the feet that go on the bottom. And last but not least, we have the 16 by 20 bounce card reflectors with the easel backs. We'll put those together. Those are going to be used to bounce light in the tabletop studio. And then we have the hardware over here. We've got 6 quarter 20 by ½ inch screws with 4 hex nuts for those. 2 of the screws are not going to be using hex nuts. We've got 4 quarter 20 by 3/4 inch screws. These are the screws you're going to use to join the crossbar to the reflector and the lights. We've got 2 wing nuts and 2, they are different sizes, and that's on purpose. 1032 screws, and they are going to be joining the crossbar together. And then we've got the 2 thumb screws that will be used to raise and lower the light stand. And then these are the 2 tools that you're going to use to put this together. Got a flathead screwdriver. You could also use a Phillips optionally, but we prefer the flathead. And I've got a 7/16 inch nut driver. You could use a crescent wrench, but this really is a better tool for the job. Okay, so that's all the parts. So what we're going to do first is we're going to put the legs right here. We're going to join them to the feet. So these are the feet, so let's separate those parts out. Now when you set up the MS32, the light stand, you've got the feet are going to be facing out like this. So there will be 1 foot on this side and 1 on this side. So we're going to do these one at a time. We're going to take the leg and we're going to put it on the outside with the foot facing out. We're going to line it up. We're going to leave 1 hole in the back here, and then we're going to take 2 of our quarter 20 by ½ inch screws and just kind of put it through the hole, if I can see it. All right, and then I'm going to put a hex nut behind there to secure it. I'm just going to start with it finger tight, and then I'll use the screwdriver and the nut driver to secure it later. So you can see that right there. And then I'm going to put the nut driver right there, just tighten it down just a little bit. Make it nice and secure. Okay, so we've got the left leg right now. Now we're going to do the right leg. Same procedure, but you want the flange facing the outside. You put the foot again on the outside edge, leave 1 hole in the back here. All right, so that's it. The legs and the feet are together. When they're finally set up, they're going to be like this with the flange parts of the feet facing towards the outside. Okay, so we've got that done. The next part we're going to do, put those to the side, is we're going to join the crossbar together. So you take the 2 pieces that have the MyStudio sticker on them. They're identical pieces. And what we're going to do is we're going to line them up in the middle. And we're going to take the 2 1032 screws and the wing nuts. We're going to take the longer screw and put it through the part that has the kind of the steel reinforced part right there. I'm going to put it through, put the wing nut on the other side. just going to do these finger tight for now. I'm going to hold the screw on one side and just kind of tighten it down. You may want to use the screwdriver to hold it in place. Okay, now that we've got the crossbar joined together in the center, we're going to take the remaining 1/4 20 1/2-inch screws and we're going to put them in these holes on the outside of the crossbar, but we're going to screw them from the inside out. These are going to be the locating screws. So we're going to start over here and we're going to put them from the inside out on the part that's does not have the steel reinforcement. And it's a threaded hole, so we're just going to take our screwdriver and screw it in there all the way. You want to make it nice and tight. Okay, and then you're just going to flip the crossbar around and do the other side. Okay, now that part is done. Now we're going to move on to what's probably the trickiest part of the whole setup, and we are going to join the reflectors, the top reflectors, and these lamps to this crossbar. And we're going to use the 4 1/4 20 by 3/4 inch screws, the longer screws, and the 4 hex nuts. So we're just going to kind of put everything where we're going to want it. 2 for this side, 2 of each for that side. I'm going to get both of the lamps, just going to kind of line them up there in front of the crossbar. And then we're going to get the reflectors down here. Okay, now before we do this, we're going to want to take the diffusers off of the lamps. So instead of just pulling it off, which could possibly break some of the tabs, we're going to just take the edge of the flat screwdriver, just kind of insert it in there, and give it a little twist. Pops it right off. Won't break any of those little tabs. And do the same thing over here. Just find a spot right next to one of the locking tabs and do a little twist. It'll pop right out. Okay. Now, if you've noticed, I have got the cords to the lamps in the center. That is where you want them, in the center. And now we're going to take the crossbar. If you notice, I've got the crossbar with the MyStudio sticker is upside down. That is actually the way we want to do this. And then we just flip it over like this and just leave it. It'll stay right on its back. And we are going to, let's put the lamp out here for now. We're going to take the reflector. You want the rough side facing up. And you want to line it up over the holes here so that the edge of the reflector is flush or almost flush with the seam in between the 2 crossbars. If they don't line up, try the other reflector. So right now, if you can see, I've got one of the holes lining up right here, and it lines up over here as well. And then I've got the edge of the reflector at the seam of the crossbar. So we know that's correct. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put one of the screws up through the crossbar and then the reflector, and then I'm going to take the lamp and put it through the hole right there. And then I'm just going to take the little hex nut, just tighten it down finger tight. Then I'm going to go to the remaining hole, make those line up. And I'm going to take the screw from underneath. And if you can see that that will pop through. Sometimes it takes a little bit of a wiggling. All right, pops right through. Sometimes, like I said, it takes a little bit of jiggling it around. Okay, now once that's in, we're going to take the screwdriver. Just use your finger to hold it inside the lamp, and you can tighten it down like that. Just snug, not real tight. And then we'll do that over here. Okay, so we have 1/2 of it done. And now we'll do the other one. So now the lamps are on the reflector. What we're going to do now is take that strip of white adhesive and we're going to cover over this seam. We want them as close together as possible. And then we're going to take the backing off of the adhesive right here. It's very sticky, so be careful it doesn't stick on itself. All right. I'm going to just run this right up the seam. Joining these as close together as possible. Now there is extra here, and you're just going to cut that off with scissors afterwards. So just want to press that in there, join it real nice. Okay, and once that's done, we're going to put the light bulbs in the lamp. So I've got the two bulbs right here. Now these, you just want to line up these prongs right here with the part in the light on each side. And then once it's in, all the way down, you just give it about a quarter twist and it locks in. And that will seat the connection. Sometimes you have to twist it a little harder than it seems like you might want to. All right. Again, give it a little twist and it locks in. Now we're going to put the diffusers back on, just kind of line up the little locking tabs on both sides. Should go right in there. Okay, so we have put the light stand together. I'm going to snip the little extra here off, and then I'm going to bring in my assistant Derek, and we are going to put this on the legs and the feet, and the light stand will be up and we'll be just about done. Okay, now that the light assembly on the crossbar is built, we're at the part that is going to take two people to do it best, so I've brought in my assistant Derek. And he's going to help me as we put the light stand onto the legs and the feet, or I should say the light assembly onto the legs and feet. Then it'll be the light stand. But first, I'm just going to flip it over carefully. And, all right, and lay it down this way. And we're going to put the other strip of white adhesive tape over the seam right here to complete the sealing of that seam. Again, this stuff is very sticky, and just do the best you can and cover it over that seam. And any extra, go ahead and just trim off with scissors, and then you can just tuck it over. Okay. So now that is completely done, we're going to get the legs. This is the right leg on this side, and it's got the flange pointing out. Derek's got the left leg with the flange pointing out, and we've each got one of the thumb screws. We're going to gently lift the light stand up, and we're going to place the locking screw on about probably the fourth or the fifth rung or hole down. We're going to do, say, the fourth? Okay, so we're going to put the locking screw in the fourth hole down, and then we're going to use the thumb screw and secure it into the threaded part. So let's lift it carefully and put it into the fourth hole down. Now this is where you can raise or lower the light stand as needed, but this is kind of where we're starting. All right, you got your side in? All right. There you go. The light stand is up and secure, and all that remains, we're going to bring the psych background up into position, and the final thing is going to be to put the bounce cards together, which I'll show you in just a second, and then we'll plug in the lights, turn it on, and show you how it looks. Thank you, Derek. Okay, the final thing to do before the MS32 is ready to plug in the lights and use is to put together the bounce cards. All we need to do is attach these cardboard easel backs onto the 16 by 20 bounce cards. So just pick one, and all you do, it doesn't really matter which side you use. You want to use the broad side, and one side of the easel back has a horizontal adhesive strip. In the directions, I think we say measure to the exact center and draw a line. I'm just going to kind of eyeball it here for the purposes of expediency. And take off the adhesive stripping. And Notice that I left the part right here on because this part is what we're going to fold out. That'll make the stand, the easel stand up. So I'm just going to line that up with about the middle and put that on here just like this. Then you fold up the sides. There's a it's pre-creased, and then you just, all you do to stand it up is you just kind of pull that middle part down, and it stands in a notch, and there it stands up straight. So all we're going to do is do the same thing on the other one, and then we'll turn in the lights and do a little sample photo shoot. Okay, so I've got the bounce cards set up, and we've got set up to do a little bit of a photo shoot. Now the cords that were coming down the middle, basically you need to pick one side wherever you have power. I happen to have power on the left side, so I unwrap the cords and I'm just draping it, running it above the light right here down to my power source, which is down here, and then I'm just going to reach in here and turn on the lights. Now if they're brand new light bulbs, they may flicker just a little bit for a few minutes. That's no big deal, that's pretty normal. But I just wanted to show you the basic setup that we normally do. That's a good starting setup, is with the your product into the MS32, and with the subject that you're shooting right here, we have some beer bottles, and we've got those back off of the background. You don't want the subject right up against the background. You want to give it some space to have some depth. So, and then I've positioned the bounce cards to reflect light back into the subject. So we're going to do that a little bit. And then if you read the documentation that comes with your MS32 on the camera tips and settings, it'll give you some settings, some aperture, shutter speed, and ISO suggestions. We really want you to get to be shooting in manual mode. We're going to do some more videos that you can watch that are more tutorial oriented. But for right now, we just kind of wanted you to see the basic setup. So right now we're just going to take a couple photos, turn the camera on, and frame the shot. So you can see how you basically want to shoot. Whatever you're shooting, you're going to have your own adjustments. There's not one specific way to shoot everything. But this is kind of the basic setup of the MS32. So it's a great photo studio. I hope that helped you quite a bit. Okay, so we're going to do one slightly different little photo shoot with a couple different subjects here. Let's move the bottles out. All right, Paco, Abby, who wants to go first? Come here. Come here, girl. Okay, this will be Abby's first photo shoot. Let's see how she does. Okay. All right, princess, sit right there. All right, you be a good girl. Let's see how you do. Yeah, no, sit, 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 sit down right there. Okay, let's see how you do. Abby, Abby, good girl. Hello, Abby, you want a puppy treat? All right, let's see if Paco does any better. All right, come here, buddy. Let's see if you want to go up there too. All right, sit. Sit down. Paco, sit. All right, Paco's done this before. All right. Hello. Puppy treat? Puppy treat? Puppy treat? Well, as I said before, I hope this video was helpful to you. Your MS32 is a great photo studio. It's probably one of the more versatile photo studios that we offer, and it's actually my personal favorite. It's very versatile, from shooting very small objects like bottles or animals to slightly medium-sized objects like computers or handbags, things like that. But check out our full range of MyStudio products. We offer accent lights, which can be very helpful to use with this. There's an extra light bar that would just be a second light bar that goes with this. There's more tutorial videos that you can watch. Basically, just have a good time, enjoy shooting with your MS32. Thanks for watching.